YouTube. So I'm gonna give you an update on the next diorama. I painted the base and I painted one of the walls. I just used the folk art, this obsidian, for that dark stone or brick, and then I put European earth pigments. I brushed those over top to get them inside the cracks. Oop. And the sidewalk, I used both of these folk art pigments, the darker and then the lighter. And I used, to put in the cracks, actually used some panel liner, some of the brown, some of the Tamiya brown, and then went back over top with this. And then the tile, I just painted white and put some black, can't find any, black Vallejo paint mixed with water to basically make a wash, and then went back over the white tile and left some of it look pretty dirty in there. The wall, I used, first I painted it with some of this cream coat, this buttercream, like this. Left this alone because this, the bottom section, I actually used these again. But I painted with that cream first, then went lightly over top with this terracotta ochre brun, and then all the other little bricks that I filled in, I put some of that on. I used some of this red clay, and then I used, boy, I keep hitting that camera. Yeah, there should be a brown here somewhere too. Okay, so and I also used a brown here and there. You can see on the different bricks, but I'll try to zoom in on that so you can see. And then it's just the gray, you know, on some of these other ones. And then after that was all done, I put some of this North Africa dust on it. Just put that all over it to give it that weathered effect. So far it's turned out pretty good. I put some grass on there, just some of your cheap grass that you'll find at Hobby Lobby. And then of course at some point I'm going to paint the inside and actually put floors on this thing. And I used this adhesive I picked up at Hobby Lobby to glue that down. And this go right there once it's done, and then you'll have the corner building. So I'm pretty happy with this so far, this RT diorama. So far so good. No real breaks or anything. Have a few spots, but that's okay because I kind of want it to look broken, old. I mean, I don't want it to look bombed out, but I want it to look like it's been through the war. So real quick, I'm going to show you how I painted this brick. Okay, so I took a brush about like this, and I just dipped it. Here, let me move this over. I just dipped it like that and just kind of rubbed it out so it's not real thick, and then I just kind of go like that, and I keep putting on other coats. The goal is not to get it in between the brick. That way you still keep that cream in between. So I just keep running that like this. If you run it side to side, like, it works good here because these bricks are different above the door. But you take a chance of getting it in between those creases. So I found that if you go this way, it tends to work out better. So you kind of see what I'm going for here. And I just do the whole thing. And then once it's dried, that's when you paint individual bricks here and there. Now that you have no choice, you have to do that underneath the window. You can also go that way. Usually this will take 2 coats because it's not getting it in full the first time. I am going to show you a problem I ran into. Okay, so this turret is the turret that comes with the Tamiya tank. Okay, this turret is the one I got with the guys that I'm going to use. Well, I planned to use this turret just because it came with the guys. I was going to put it on with the tank, but notice the size difference. So there is no way that that's going to work. So I'm going to use this whole kit now. This I'll just use for something else, but if you buy that, the way they sell it, it's meant for a solo. You're supposed to build this, probably put it on a plaque, and then have the guys with it, where I'd plan to put it with an actual, the full tank. So if you plan to do that, make sure that you do get, a nice Sherman that you plan to use, because this is not, it's kind of close, but you can see there's a difference in the height. There's a difference in the size. And then this isn't even the whole piece. This is the other piece that goes on, so you're actually getting some of this too. So there's quite a difference. There's actually a difference in all that too, you can see. So best to, even the barrel's a little bit different. It's pretty close. Yeah, it's close, but I would just use the whole kit if you're gonna plan to build the whole kit and do a diorama. But if you plan to just build the turret, put the guys in it, then this is good enough. You can just put that on a plaque and you can go crazy. Okay, but that is an update so far. You can see that you got to put 2 coats on. And it'll come out looking something like that. Get a closer view of the road and the sidewalk, and try not to keep putting my finger in that camera. You see the tile. I left it dirtier in spots, made it wet. Just a bunch of things, some wet, some dry, just to make it look weathered. Okay, as you can see, a lot of stuff has been done real quick. Your downspout for the gutter is actually just a piece of tubing, about like that. Cut that in half for the gutter and just bent it for the downspout and cut a slot out at the bottom right there to make it look like it's dripping. I did put the wood windows in. Right now I gotta put some plastic over top of that and do some work inside, because unlike the way this is advertised, I'm gonna put an inside in too, which I've done for the most part already. This chair still has to be painted. This is just a mini art chair, which is going to sit out there. Turn to the side. I put some vines up. I used some dead vine and some vine that looks like it's thriving to go up. And mainly the reason why I did this stack is supposed to be right here. But the way this lines up inside, if I would have ran that down through, it would have covered the windows. So I had to move it. So this, I really mainly put this here just to cover the slab. I could have probably tried to grind that out and make it look like tile, but it was just easier to do it this way. And I mean, it does look pretty good. A lot of it up there. I still haven't put the detail on the stack yet, on the chimney, but and I still got to put some detail on the roof. This isn't all the way done. This is just kind of showing you what I've got so far. I did get some woodland scenic moss and put around the base, especially right there where the drip is. I put some of the rust on there from the Tamiya Weathermaster little kit. I think that's about it, except for the inside. So this is the inside so far, and there's a lot that still has to be done. This is just the foam insulation board. I cut it, made this look like, you know, it was all rock at one time, or stone at one time, and then they had to replace sections and made it, you know, part brick, even down at the bottom. This is just balsa wood. The floor, I put the boards across and just ran the boards like you would see. You know, in an older house, they ran the boards sideways, then they actually put flooring over top to make it look straight, but I just ran the boards sideways. And actually put boards in here too. And then I started painting the rooms. I got a lot of work to do on the windows. Let me bring this down. You see the bottom. And I did have a little trouble here. As you can see, it looks kind of weird, but I mean, sometimes if you look at some of the older stone and brick chimneys, fireplaces, they do look kind of oddly, but I had to take that in just to get it to go around the window. But I was still trying to match up as close as I could to the top. So it was kind of tough doing that, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. And that's just something else. That's a barrel of stuff. This is something old that I had that I got a while back. It was just odds and ends. And just put that in there. But you kind of see what we got done so far. I did give this a dirty look in here. Everything I paint, like when it comes to this, because it's going to look dirty and wore out, you know, you have to remember, even though this place looks good for war-torn France, because this is what this will be in France, you still have to remember, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of upkeep on these homes because, you know, it was during the war. So you have a little bit of a dirty look, you know, here and there to the walls. I do have to weather this. I have to paint a lot of the wood still. So, but that's what we got done so far. I'll turn this around and kind of see the bottom up. I'll zoom in on that. So you get an idea of what it looks like. But it is almost finished. At least the base is, and then I've got a lot of work to do on the rest of it. So right now it's just pretty much the base that's almost done. And then we will move on to the models, the tank, all the guys that's going to go with us, or with us, the French resistance fighters, and all that fun stuff. I've been looking at some other resin figures on eBay, on Amazon, on Etsy, so I don't know, I'm just kind of looking to see what I might want to put on the inside. I showed you in my last video of what I was going to do on the outside. Now I'm looking for stuff to put on the inside of this. So, well, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you liked, please subscribe. And if you haven't already, thank a veteran. Thank them for their service. And God bless.